Hey Geminis, welcome back to Deku Tarot. Welcome to your June 2020 reading and happy birthday to you all. It's Gemini season and it feels interesting with all of the retrogrades, I'm sure. So we're going to be using my classic Rider-Waite Tarot here and we're going to look at your month ahead. I think the astrology at this time, with all the retrogrades, really asks you, how do you adapt to situations out of your control? And any changes that really throw you off balance at this time. I do believe that things are going to be easier if we willingly take a step back. So let's see here. I knew that was coming out for you. Let's see what we have on the table. Just pull one more. Again, like I said, there's a lot of change, and I do think that with a lot of retrogrades as well as two huge eclipses. Yep, we have two eclipses this month. We have a new moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius and a full moon solar eclipse in Cancer later on in the month. And that's going to bring up a lot of change, shifting, and looking at what makes us feel comfortable, especially in terms of relationships, where we feel stagnant almost in some of those relationships as well, and what needs to be shifted, changed, and looked at. And again, if you willingly take that step back, it's going to give you that perspective that will help you catch the bad behaviors in your life that maybe you are perpetuating that you can really change. And Two of Pentacles, yeah, it's a little bit of a juggling card, but it also reminds you that we are in the middle of change and flux. And with the Judgment card there as well, it just feels like some big changes are coming in, and there are things, again, out of our control. When Judgment shows up, that's life asking you to make some necessary changes. It asks you to look at your past, your present, and where you want to be headed toward the future, and what you're willing to adapt, change, and let go of in the process. So yeah, we have a lot of juggling, a lot of, again, change and flux. The waters might not be so still. They might be kind of rocky, bumpy, and a little bit boisterous at times. But you're asked to find a way to be comfortable in the middle of all this, because I don't think that a lot of these changes are moving as quickly as we would like them to, of course. But the eclipses are helping move this along, and they will help for the next 6 months. And Five of Pentacles reversed, Six of Coins. I can't help but feel, we are going into a Mercury retrograde at the end of the month there, and Mercury is your ruler. And it'll be retrograding in your second house, Cancer, of, finances, money. Of course, that's saying if you're Gemini is a rising, or if you're a Gemini rising. But again, check your rising sign, and then you can figure out your houses, okay? And what they all rule as, we go through the different astrological movements here. But Five of Wands reversed. I feel like I just said Five of Pentacles reversed. If I did, I apologize. That's Five of Wands reversed and Six of Pentacles upright. But Five of Wands reversed, for me, it feels like there's a little bit of loss in communication here. We're just not hitting the mark. We might be feeling a little bit defeated, lack of energy in terms of fighting up against people that might be saying, doing things that are irritating to you, frustrating to you, but you just don't have it within you to deal with it in maybe the most either mature way or just deal with it at all. You might want to just step away, walk away, and let it go. And you do feel that, there's some underhandedness, but it's how we work on it. Again, like I said, as long as we're willingly taking that step back, as long as we're not jumping into things with all of our words and energy, think before we speak, put in some effort and try to see things from a different perspective. It just feels that the lines of communication are getting a little bit crossed and frayed here, and we're just not saying things, doing things the way that maybe we mean them to, and other people aren't as well. So take a step back and try to look at communication, especially from a different perspective. Communication in all relationships, in love, in friendships, in familial relationships, work relationships, because not everybody is feeling really comfortable right now. And I think there's a lot more at play to do with that is very obvious right now on a global scale with everything going on. There's a lot of discomfort, there's a lot of change, there's a lot of loss of income and stability, and it has us all needing to make some shifts and changes to what's happening around us right now and what the world is asking for us, what our lives are asking us to do. And Three of Pentacles here does show some building blocks, building some stronger foundations, as long as you are able to stay grounded. And again, grounding in the middle of all of this and not trying to rush into things, not trying to rush into conversations, decisions, movements forward when there's so much retrograde, will really help you build a stronger foundation. You don't need to make these moves right now. And you might need to put off some moves. You might need to put off some decisions for the future, but know that because you're doing that, you're actually building a much stronger foundation for yourself, because you're giving yourself the time to align in mind, body, soul, in your financial decisions moving forward and in your relationship decisions moving forward. So don't jump into moving in together, especially because there is a Venus retrograde and you might not be able to reconcile what you've decided on until afterwards, and you might not be so happy about what you've decided on during a Venus retrograde. Let me have a little bit of water here, and if you have some water, I suggest you drink it as well. So let's continue to pull some cards here. Like I said, we have these 2 eclipses coming in this month, and that's going to bring about change as eclipses do for the next 6 months ahead. The changes that are it doesn't mean that, it all happens on one day. These are, moments of revelations, of opportunities, of things that are going to change our lives, for the next 6 months, or 6 months from now, we'll see the effects of what has started, begun, or been set off now. This is a very powerful month for you guys, and it's a very powerful month in general, and it's very interesting with all the retrogrades, honestly. Ooh. Yep. Let's pull a few more here. Wow, I love it. Relationships take on a more diplomatic and practical sense to them, and we're able to see the dawn. And I love seeing the Ten of Swords reversed, because that's opportunity in the midst of a lot of loss, a lot of pain, things not working out the way you wanted them to. If we haven't been communicating or on the same, it feels like we're on different levels within a relationship, or we've had to, say goodbye to a relationship. Again, with an eclipse in your 7th house of Sagittarius, your opposite sign, which rules relationships, that's a new moon that can bring about some very sudden endings, some very sudden moments of just releasing even pain from past relationships, releasing pain from, even if I'm not saying you're all leaving relationships, but you could be leaving behind major chapters, themes, and areas where things really weren't on an equal playing field, where you were hurting each other, where there wasn't a lot of stability, and it's being replaced there with new opportunities of stability, of sustenance, of growth, a new doorway within a relationship that offers you a much more solid place to work from, a true place to work from, something very real. So again, like I said, for some of you, you might be faced with, let's move in together. Wouldn't that be a great idea? I would say work your way through to that, at least the Venus retrograde. At least work your way through that before you make any big decisions on those in those ways. Again, be diplomatic, King of Swords. Be a high-minded air sign here. I mean, this is you guys. You're the diplomatic one in this relationship and at this time. Whatever you're dealing with here, it begs you to look at it from a less heartfelt, a more intelligent perspective. And let's see why we're kind of getting that, though. So I'm not saying it's bad, but it does mean that you need to, and it has a lot to do with that Sagittarius new moon lunar eclipse. When is that? That's the 2nd, or no, the 4th of June. But 2 days before that, we have Mercury going into its pre-shadow before it goes retrograde in Cancer later in the month on June 18th. So let's see. Yeah. it's finding a different way to merge, especially if, you know, you're in a relationship that's getting towards that point where we've been through a lot and now it's time to take it to the next level. I'm not saying that's a bad decision. I'm just saying we just want to, I don't know, I just keep getting be diplomatic about it, be intelligent about it. Temperance asks you to adapt the situation, but to do it in a way that is more beneficial. And Four of Pentacles next to it makes me feel that this isn't something that you want to rush into. It's like, hold on to what you have right now and think about it. This isn't something you need to jump for. This isn't something that's going to go away, but something that asks you to look for maybe even a different route, a different option, a different way of pursuing these goals together. And for those of you who are very single and not in relationships, we could be really starting to consider relationships that are a lot more stable and grounded, people that aren't, really exciting and crazy and all this stuff, but we're looking for something that we can rely upon, something that offers more than what we were getting before. And I say that because it just feels like you want something more refreshing, something something that we can grow with, but that isn't going to leave us, isn't going to hurt us, isn't going to constantly be putting up some type of battle, if that's what you've been through. So I would say hold on to your hats within relationships at this time with Venus in retrograde. Even good things might seem a little too exciting and you might want to jump at it immediately, but just know that your mind may change by the time it's all over, and we have to recognize that and be a little smarter about it. But as an air sign, I don't think you're going to have too many issues with that. Yeah, Four of Cups. It's like for right now, the things, because again, at the end of this, the things that you are interested in right now are not going to be interesting when the Venus retrograde is over, and it could actually just be opposite. So it's a very interesting time here where we might not be getting offered the things that we necessarily want, but that for some reason there's like rose-colored. With Venus retrograde, you have to know that there's rose-colored glasses involved, and everything is going to look a totally different shade than it will after. I know I keep saying that, but there's a lot of fours which say movement is maybe not best, and we need to take our time with this. Give it a month or so. Give it a year even. If somebody's, like saying, let's get married or something, you're like, we just worked through like all of this. We've just been through all of this. Let's take a breather. Let's hold on to what we've got and see how we can move toward this in a less unrealistic manner. Wow. Career is looking interesting. Let's look at that there. Wow. There's some of you who might be moving on to something much greater, much better, or, raising yourself within the workplace into a better position. Eight of Cups to the Hierophant, something, I don't know, more. You might even be, again, like I said, there's this feeling of wanting to have more stability that is kind of the backbone of this reading. There's a lot of change and flux, and it asks you, I think with all the retrogrades, to take it slower and to find something that's more stable, because right now you're not really enjoying this whole totally ungrounded place where everything is just change and flux, and you don't really know where things are going, and where things have not been very reliable, and have been maybe giving you a lot of anxiety, fears, and emotional stress. And we're just kind of done with that. So Eight of Cups and the Hierophant says we want to go back to something that's traditional, that we can rely upon, that isn't going anywhere. For some of you, it could signify going back to work, literally, like in a physical sense, if you've been working from home, if you've been furloughed. The Hierophant also says that some of you might be wanting to learn something more, or take on a job at a really big and, again, very well-established place here. And with the World coming after that, this is a very large opportunity. This really showcases also your skills and how they've grown. You get to prove your, what is the word I'm looking for? Prove your worth. I almost said wealth for some reason. Prove your worth here and gain more wealth. Maybe that's why that's coming in. But it's it begs for, again, stability. It begs for wealth. It begs for something to be relied upon this month. And it does feel like you're leaving situations where you didn't have that to sit, and you're moving towards situations here where obviously you are getting that. There's really big opportunities, you know, life-changing moments here. The world, and with the sun in your sign, I love seeing, you know, this is your month here. And I always end up getting, I feel like, the world sign when, you know, the sign I'm reading for, this is the moment, you know, where we have our solar return. It's, again, it's not surprising to get the world, but there is a leveled up, more intelligent, wiser, smarter, I've got this kind of energy to you, and you're able to make the moves, I think, by the end of June here that are giving you, yeah, it feels like a lot of the security, stability, and accolades in terms of work that you've wanted. For some of you, it might involve a move, and that's very exciting, or a lot of travel, but whatever it is, it gives you opportunity and momentum towards these end goals, and it comes in very quickly, probably through communication, but you're celebrating here. You will find yourself celebrating some really wonderful progressions here by the end of the month that maybe we didn't expect coming in. It might feel a little bit like herky-jerky for a while here, but it does get to a really wonderful place. So let's pull some oracles, because this month is looking very nice here. Okay. Oh, it's popping right out is this card, so we're just going to take it. And I love this. Wow, what a perfect card for you. It's one of my favorite in the deck. I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. So let's look at it. Before making a decision of power, move into that place of silence and serenity deep within you. Sit anywhere, close your eyes, and follow your breath in and out. On the third inhalation, take the breath down into your belly and locate your place of power just below your navel. Visualize your place of power holding the golden sun, a disk of radiant brilliance within you. Observe the silence like a deer in the meadow. If you are in pain, use your consciousness to find where that pain lives within your body. Then move into that pain and beyond it until you find the sources of silence. In this silence lives your sacred witness, that which sees all and knows all and is all that you are. Power is born within silence. And I do think that a healthy dose of silence, I mean, he doesn't speak unless he needs to. And I don't think that a lot of cases will beg for you to speak. And I think that you're going to step yourself out before you get involved in things where you're, you know, saying things you didn't want to say, or hearing things you didn't want to hear, or getting yourself involved in fights you didn't need to be a part of. So again, there's a lot of silence in the decision making and in your progression this month. Let's pull one Romance Angel Oracle card, because I know you guys always like them. Let's pull one for love here. For Geminis for June 2020. And guys, if you want to book a private reading, all my information is below in the description box. A couple little announcements after this. Some important stuff going on. Ooh. Yeah. And like I said, especially with that Three of Cups coming in at the end of the month, it feels like social situations are going to feel a lot more normal, better by the end of the month there. We're going to be communicating better, celebrating with friends, etc. But let your friends help you within relationship situations. Ask for and receive support from others, okay? And I do think you're going to need that. And I do think that, you know, with the fours going on here and that Ten of Swords, you're going to need some people with some different perspectives on a situation that maybe you're not feeling too great about. You know, I'm feeling this way. What do you guys think? Let's have a conversation about it. You know me. You know how I am in relationships. It's those kinds of things, those types of conversations. And attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So enjoy. Have a beautiful moment. Again, this is your month. Be happy and do things that make you happy. And by feeling confident, attractive, and enjoying every moment, you are going to attract in that love that you want, that stable love. Okay? You're going to be attracting this in, which is great. So, anyways, Geminis, those are your messages for June. I hope you enjoyed them. Do check out the weeklies. Do check out your other monthlies for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. And again, if you're looking to book a private reading, all my info is below. I am still honoring the 20% off for the COVID situation, so you can still use those discounts, guys. And right now, I do want to make a really big announcement. I've been having a very hard time with Instagram. I don't know what's going on. I'm stuck in a verification loop. So sometimes I'm able to get in and then I'm out for like ever. So if you are trying to get in contact with me there, or trying to see what's going on with my Instagram, but I'm not posting or doing anything, it is because I literally cannot get in right now. And Instagram literally is not helping me. They do not have any support. They don't have anyone to call or talk to. So I have no idea what to do, and I'm just trying to work my way through this by looking at message boards online, because again, Instagram's help center is pure ass. It does not work, it's not helpful, and they are not helpful. So put that out there. I don't know, I'm pretty frustrated with them. I think it's very disappointing for such a huge app to just not have any support for things like this, like when you've been hacked or something crazy is going on. But anyways, so that's really what's going on over here, guys. Thank you again for all of your support. Do make sure to like, do make sure to share, do make sure to subscribe, and I love hearing all your comments. Happy birthday to all of you Geminis, okay? Thank you so much. Have a blessed month. Namaste.